I caught on camera my wife cheated on me with my son's best friend. Part 2. Update. I approached my wife 2 days ago about my hunch that she was having an affair with Jason, which she categorically denied. She has been giving me the silent treatment, which our children have observed, but we have kept it between us. I also noticed that she has stopped hanging out with Jason alone and has begun doing activities with all of us present. This vacation was supposed to be about me and her and our 3 children. Vacations like this are supposed to bring us together, not tear us apart. Our last vacation was exactly like that. We never left each other's side. We go fishing together, go on picnics together, etc. I couldn't understand why she was so hell-bent on inviting him on this trip. I have a nagging sensation that this affair has been going on for a long time. I believe she took a bigger risk this time since she hasn't seen Jason as often as she generally does because he's been busy in college. In retrospect, I wonder about the late-night dinners with married friends that she attends at least once or twice a week. This occurs more often while Jason is on vacation from college. We've always had a healthy bed life, but I'd say her libido is increasing with age, while mine is slowing. But at least we have sex once a week. If she had her way, it'd probably be more than once a week. And I kept wondering where I went wrong. Was it because I'm not as sexually active as I used to be? We only have 2 days left before our vacation ends, and it seemed like everyone else was having a good time except for me and my wife. There is this tension between us that I want to break tonight. I wanted to hit the reset button. I wanted to go back to how things were before I confronted her. I didn't want this tension to last another day, and I certainly didn't want to carry it back home, so I called my wife aside and told her that we would be having dinner at a so later that evening. When the kids were occupied with other activities, I put on my flowery shirt and shorts, and she dressed a sundress, and we strolled over to the restaurant, which was about 300 yards away from our resort. We had scheduled a table overlooking the water, which was a stunning view. We sat at a 2-person table. I sat quietly for a minute because I felt like I had made the mistake of giving her information that I knew the first time, instead of being very cerebral about it. My plan was to allow my wife to feel comfortable about everything. I was going to apologize and act like I had made a mistake by falsely accusing her. I was going to allow her to do more talking this time, and I was going to pay close attention to her, waiting for her to make a mistake. I've been blinded all these years, and I've trusted her with all I've had, but she's rewarded me by insulting me. She's banging a guy her son's age and lying to me about it. She's attempted to guilt me, and she's embarrassed me like a fool. I am the brains behind the fortune she enjoys. The clothing she is wearing is mine, and she believes I got this far by being foolish. I'll admit that I've spent too much time at work, and my hearing loss may have distracted me, and I guess it was too much to trust your wife and not pay attention to what she's been up to. It's bad enough that she's having an affair, but my son's friend, a boy who's like a son to me, a boy she was supposed to be mentoring, hits close to home. The first thing my wife said after the awkward silence was that she was sorry she wasn't spending as much time with me as she usually does when we go on vacation, that she could understand why I would think there was something between her and Jason because he has become a close friend to her, that she looked me in the eyes and said, and I quote, "I never slept with him." I glanced at her and nodded in agreement, but I didn't say anything. She went on to add that she thought I had been distant and that she had been trying to reconnect with me, but I had been reclusive, and that she understands that my hearing loss is contributing to it, but she is there for me. She also apologizes for the hurtful things she said to me and says she talked out of context because she was upset that I came to such a conclusion. She stated that she has always been faithful to me and would never betray me. I felt that she got off to a fantastic start, and I wanted our talk to be upbeat and for her to relax her guard. So I told her that I hadn't been myself in a while and that I wanted us to be closer on the holiday, taking care not to bring up Jason or the affair. We enjoyed a lovely romantic meal and returned to the resort while holding hands. The rest of our stay was uneventful. She tried to do things with me, but I still thought it was forced and she didn't want to be there, almost as if she was doing things out of guilt. I thought maybe it was my mind playing tricks on me because I am now aware that she is having an affair, and the image of the pure and loyal wife has been shattered. Maybe because I felt like I was blind, but now I see. After the reconciliation during dinner, the kids no longer suspect any affair. The camera footage saves material for 30 days before being erased. I was hoping that the camera would catch anything that would implicate my wife and show that I wasn't insane. I was ecstatic about the new ammo and couldn't wait to get home. I pretended everything was okay for the remainder of my stay, but to my wife, it must have seemed like a near call. She must have believed I had forgotten everything. She must have felt like she had fully manipulated me. I couldn't help but look at her with disgust because I felt like she was so comfortable deceiving me, giving me the impression that she must have done it before throughout the relationship, all my life, even in my business, because I value honesty and loyalty above all else, and I hate being lied to or feeling like I'm getting the short end of the stick. I was so excited when we got home from the trip that I didn't want to give myself too much hope that there would be anything on the camera, because my wife knows the cameras are there, they are very obvious, and she was the one who convinced me to get them after seeing one at a friend's house. So I wasn't thinking she would be careless enough to do anything in front of the cameras. There's a possibility she made a mistake this time, and that's what I was hoping for. I was worried that now that she knows I'm onto her, she'd hurry home to delete the tape before I could get my hands on it. My wife is not a technology person. She would not know how to wipe the memory, but she may do something that compromises the camera storage, making it impossible to retrieve any information. After we landed, I told my wife that I wasn't feeling well. I pretended to be sick and gave her a prescription to pick up for me. She normally picks up my prescription, and I was confident that I didn't need a refill, but I told her that I forgot my prescription at the R. I told her I'd take a different taxi with the kids to lie down. Jason returned to his parents' home in a different taxi. As soon as I got home, I downloaded 2 days before we went on vacation on a portable hard drive. Those days being when Jason came to our house. It took a while to download, but it was completed before my wife got home. When my wife returned, I watched her to see if she checked the camera storage or did anything to compromise it. But she didn't. It was almost as if the camera didn't exist to her. It took us until late at night to unpack. And all I could think about was getting everyone to sleep so I could check if there was anything to discover on the film. When everyone had gone to night, I connected the hard drive to my laptop and began the laborious process of viewing the footage, fast-forwarding to the particular period from when Jason visited. Jason remained in the guest bedroom the night he arrived. The gaming room has a corridor that goes to the guest rooms. As I fast-forwarded, I noticed my wife in the frame on the game room camera footage. I played normal speed. It was time-stamped to 12:53 a.m. My wife met up with Jason on the hallway visible to game room camera. He pulled her in for a kiss, and they made out for a few seconds. She playfully pushed him away and turned around to get out of the game room as he playfully slapped her butt. When she turned around, she giggled her way out. Even a blind man could see they were having an affair, and that was all the proof I needed. My pulse was racing so fast, I thought I'd have a heart attack. I wasn't upset, but I was glad that I finally had the tools I needed to face my unfaithful wife. I was ready to shut down my laptop when she reappeared on the surveillance tape at 1:15 a.m. She walked directly to the guest corridor, and I guessed to the guest bedroom with Jason, and didn't return until 2:47 a.m. because my son's girlfriend is living with him. Jason is the only one staying in the guest room. She plainly joined him in the guest bedroom to have sex with him, and after doing so, she strolled back into the main area and right to our matrimonial bed, where I was asleep. I didn't wake her up because I had the necessary proof. In the morning, I contacted my lawyer, who referred me to a divorce lawyer, and I scheduled a meeting the same day. After the meeting, I had an idea of how much of a financial impact it would have on me, and it is significant, but I know that I have to follow through with a separation agreement. I can't stay in a relationship with someone I don't trust. Someone who lied to me and then accused me of being a racist for taking advantage of the young man she was supposed to be mentoring. I know I wouldn't want my kids to know the details of the divorce because I don't want them to turn against their mother. But I just don't want Jason around us anymore, even though I understand the circumstances and know he may not have initiated it. I still don't want a reminder of my wife's infidelity, but I'll use it as a bargaining chip with my wife. My kids were out of the home that evening, so I just edited the part when my wife made out with Jason, and when she walked into the guest bedroom from 1:15 a.m. to 2:47 a.m. I called her into the room and played it for her on my laptop. After a few minutes, she recognized it and covered her face with her palms. I would like to know some details about their relationship, such as when it began, but she refused to answer my questions. All she did was, she knew there was no excuse. I used that opportunity to give her a piece of what she gave me during our trip. I called her all kinds of names. The only time I got a response from her was when I told her that I will share the video with the kids. She quickly stopped sobbing. I informed her that she would take whatever alimony I agreed to give her and provide me an amiable divorce on my terms in exchange for mine, agreeing to go through with the fiction that we are splitting due to irreconcilable differences. The next day, we gathered our children and informed them that we were divorcing. She and our 3 children were present, and my children had many questions. They tried their hardest to persuade us to reconcile, but my wayward wife played her part, telling them that we were both unhappy and had been for some time, and that we felt it would be best to separate. It was a very tearful night. My wife tried her hardest to hide her emotions so the kids would think she started it, but it was very obvious that I was the one who filed for divorce. No matter how we tried to hide it, she couldn't hold her emotion. It was a very sad day for my family. I tried to hold myself together, and I cried when I was alone in the bedroom. Well, it is what it is, another marriage that has failed for the same reason. I'm not sure why I keep marrying. Thanks for staying till the end of this video. Please like and subscribe.